to the kingdom. Cheers. A toast to the king.
You elect will drink wine new with Yahweh Shai. You elect. As of right now, we say hopeful elect. You elect of Israel out there will drink wine new with our Lord Yahweh Shai in his Father's kingdom, which is going to be the kingdom of heaven here on this planet Earth once Yahweh Shai returns. When our Lord comes back, one of the first things he's going to do is have a toast with his men. He's going to have a toast with his men, those that stood stiffly for his name and his Father's name. Let's read this one more time. Matthew chapter 26, verse 29. But I say unto you, I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine, which is wine, which is made from grapes, as you know. And our Lord, he loves to drink, man. That's something that our Lord took pleasure in when he was here on this planet Earth. He's not going to do it anymore until he returns to do it with you, showing just how much he loves his elect, man. He's not even going to drink until he does it again with you. I will not drink henceforth of this fruit of the vine until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom. So what a moment that's going to be, man. And you can only imagine the quality of wine that's going to be. Our Lord Yahweh Shai, he has access to different things that we don't even know about, man. Access to different grapes you don't know about. Has access to an entirely different quality of life that we don't know about. But he's going to reveal it to you. He's going to give it to you when he returns. Now, you have what's called a loyal toast. A loyal toast. I'm going to read this real quick. A loyal toast is a salute given to the sovereign monarch or head of state of the country in which a formal gathering is given. In this case, the sovereign monarch or head of state would be Yahweh Shai. He's our sovereign monarch. He controls everything, man. But guess what? He's also going to extend that power to you elect. He's going to share that power with you. A loyal toast is a salute given to the sovereign monarch or head of state of the country in which a formal gathering is given, or by expatriates of that country, whether or not the particular head of state is present. In this case, the Lord will be present. So you're not going to have someone speaking for him giving a toast. He's going to host the toast. He's going to be there, man. We're living in a time we're going to meet Yahweh Shai. You're going to meet him face to face, which is proof also that we have to be changed. We can't meet the Lord like this. He's going to change you. He's going to crown you, and he's going to toast with you. Now let's read some more. It says, it is usually a matter of protocol at state and military occasions and a display of patriotic sentiment at civilian events. The toast is usually initiated and recited by the host, which will be Yahweh Shai, before being repeated by the assembled guests in unison.
To the kingdom. Cheers.
Sometimes when Akim are among each other, we'll do little small toasts. Brothers may be like La Yasharala, holding up cups. But imagine the Lord himself hosting it, man. And we join in. And I was reading something else, and pretty much they said in order to have what they call a loyal toast, you will use wine. That's the beverage of choice. And once again, our Lord, he's coming back, and we're going to see him with all that power, man. But he's going to extend that power to you. Now, reading on a monarch, it says a monarch is a head of state for life or until abdication, in this case for life. And therefore, the head of state of a monarch may exercise the highest authority and power in the state. Or others may wield that power on behalf of the monarch. And that will be you joint heirs. You different men that are going to reign with the Lord, man. Usually a monarch either personally inherits the lawful right to exercise the state's sovereign rights, often referred to as the throne or the crown, or is selected by an established process from a family or cohort eligible to provide the nation's monarch. In this case, the Heavenly Father Yahweh himself selected his son Yahushua. And once again, when our Lord returns, he's going to wield that power to you elect as well. Once again, he's going to change you, he's going to crown you, and he's going to have a toast with you. A kingly toast.
To the kingdom! Cheers! A toast with the king! Raise your glasses, my friends. A toast with the king! A toast with the king! Raise your glasses, everyone. A toast to a prosperous future! To the king! To our glorious future! To the victors, blow the spoils! Raise your glasses! Cheers! Raise your chalices to the golden age of our kingdom! A toast to the king!
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai Bahashem Rakakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples towards younger brothers. And peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners who have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai, man. You know, this edition of Morning News and Prophecy, okay, Babylon, you know, will be dragged into this world war. Okay, Babylon is going to be dragged into this world war, okay, by these small hats, man. Okay, I got, you know, quite a few videos, man. I want to get into some things, okay, because what we're seeing, we have to understand is that this is the war that's going to set it off. Okay, so this conflict between America, the small hats, and Iran, like I said, this going to set it off. Okay, this going to set the world, all right, afire. Okay, and the stakes are high. So this is not no, you know, war that they're just going to, you know, throw themselves into. There's a lot of moves being made dealing with this war. That whole region is in the uproar, okay? And you best believe Trump has been getting a lot of phone calls, all right, from these leaders in their region about what him and these small hats have been speculating that they was going to do to Iran. Now, eventually, the Lord going to make it happen, okay? Well, just like we said yesterday, Spirit had us to go into it yesterday, that if they're going to do it within a certain window, that these niggas going to find an off-ramp. Okay, we're going to go into an off-ramp and what that means, you know, in terms of politics and war. Okay, But we got, quite a bit to go into, man. Some moves been made, and like we've been saying, okay, don't believe that American hype. Okay, all this tough guy, this rah shit, they selective with that. Okay, they don't fool the masses like like they just some gorilla out here. But this gorilla got some sense. You gonna see Donald Trump talking this shit, but you gonna see this nigga got some sense. Okay, no goddamn fool. You say these things that look cute on the internet, but at the end of the day, they ain't no goddamn fool, and they're gonna have to get drugged into this war. And Small Hat's gonna drag these niggas into this war, man. Okay? Because Netanyahu gonna be impulsive, man, because he's terrified, okay, of how Iran is becoming stronger by the day. Okay? These little protests, they make you think that Iran gonna be Venezuela part 2. Completely the opposite, man. The complete opposite. Okay? So I want to get this, and I got quite a few videos I'm gonna get into, man, just to show you and give you, so we can get the boots on the ground, all right, perspective of what's going on. So let's start off here in the book of Job, because what's happening with the devil, all right, this is the book of Job, chapter 20, verse 22. This in the AMP. It says, in the fullness of his excess, great abundance, all right, he will be in trouble. Okay, so this devil, he's at the peak, of his excess, man. He has more money than he ever has. He has more, influence. He has more, technology. Okay, he has more resources. Okay, so in the fullness of his excess, okay, he will be in trouble. So this devil is troubled, man. Okay, Esau is not chilling, relaxing, setting up this new world order, man. This nigga's in trouble, man. He's troubled. Okay, because every step that he make, the Most High got this nigga checkmated, man. Every step that he make is a step towards his end. Okay, every step that he make is a step towards his end. It said the hand of everyone who suffers will come against him. He is miserable on every side. Okay, this man is miserable on every side, man. Okay, he got so much that he has to deal with at the same time. And it's closing in on him, man. That's why Esau, he's just going to spaz out, man. Okay, he's just going to enforce this new world order with the sword, man. Okay, because all these schemes and gimmicks is getting harder and harder for him to pull off. And see, he doesn't have that global power that he once had. The elites are losing it, man. Okay, the elites are slipping. Okay, this new world order is a desperate attempt to remain in power. Okay, now the masses are going to be taken because he's going to bring so much, chaos and devastation. Okay, that they're going to be, herded into this new world order through fear. You see, but this devil, okay, he's going to destroy himself trying to pull this off, man. Okay, because as you can see, every step he gets closer to this new world order, every step he gets closer to the digital system, this technocracy, he gets closer to war. Okay, the prophecies are inseparable. Okay, so this devil can't make moves towards his new world order, okay, this digital technocracy, and it not be moves being made towards war, because they go together. Okay, and when this man makes this thing mandate, that opens up the gate for the war to go nuclear, man. When he mandates the MOTB, okay, that opens the gate for the war to go nuclear, man. You see? So if this devil is pushing towards this new world order, AI's general, AGI, ASI, data centers, and all this linked to war as well, because it's all the will of Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. Every prophecy has its appointed time, so everything this devil does, okay, is bringing him closer to his end. Every step that he takes, man. All right, Job 20 and 23 says, when he fills his belly, the Most High will send his anger on him and will rain it upon him while he is eating. Okay, so when as this devil gets closer to, achieving his new world order, okay, as he constantly, gets this thing off the ground, get more people, linked into the digital, system, okay, he switches over the infrastructure to where you got to have, digital ID and eventually the RFID chip, RFID microchip, okay, to function in this society, okay, the closer, all right, this devil is going to be to the Lord's anger, because the Lord is pissed at this nigga for trying to pull this off, man. Okay, the Lord is pissed at this devil for even trying to pull this off, man. This is the ultimate rebellion, okay, and disrespect to Yahweh Bashim Shai, man. Okay, so the closer this devil gets to trying to pull this off, man, okay, the Lord's anger is just going to unleash on this nigga, man. Okay, and there's going to be a war, and he's going to send back Yahweh Shai, because that's the peak of the Heavenly Father's anger, is sending back Yahweh Shai in the midst of this war, man. Okay, so while this devil, starts to see his new world order up and running, the currencies collapse and switch to a digital currency. Okay, you can't function without the digital ID. You can't access the internet, and okay, all these different things that he's establishing, and the Lord is going to unleash on this nigga in the midst of him trying to do this, man. Okay, Job 20:24, he said he may flee from the iron weapon, and that's another thing which the brothers was going into this. The brother was going into it out there in Dallas. How this devil, here it is, he done kicked up all this shit. He done started all this shit. But then this nigga gonna run to a bunker. Okay, when this shit go haywire. Okay, here it is, he orchestrating all this madness in the earth, but his ass gonna run to the bunker when this shit go haywire, man. And all he's doing is preserving himself to be the first fruits of slavery, man. Okay, but this weaponry, that iron weaponry, these nukes, okay, is going to destroy this man's infrastructure, man. Okay, because this infrastructure, everything that this man has up and running now, and what he's trying to establish, this is an extension of Esau Edom. Okay, and these missiles are going to pierce through that, man. They're going to tear this place down, man. Because as a ruler, an extension of your rulership is your infrastructure, your system that you have in place, your money systems, your constitutions and your militaries, and your technology. Well, that's an extension of you as a ruler. Okay, and this weaponry, these nukes, is going to destroy, okay, this man's infrastructure, man. Especially in America, it's going to be completely turned into a desert. Okay, it says he may flee from the iron weapon, but the bow of the bronze will pierce him through. So the devil's going to flee. The devils are going to flee, okay, into these bunkers, these underground cities. Okay, but the destruction, okay, of this evil empire, okay, is going to be pierced through with these missiles, man. Okay, the Lord created these missiles just to renovate the earth for his people, man, to destroy this wicked infrastructure, man. Okay, this is the Lord's controlled demolition. All right, there's nuclear war that's to come. That's the Lord's version of controlled demolition, man. Destroying this man's infrastructure, man. It says the arrow is drawn forth and it comes out, all right, of his back after passing through the body. Yet the glittering point comes out of his gall. Terrors march in upon him, man. Okay. So this man, every move that he makes is bringing him closer to this. You see, he can't avoid coming to this. You see, every data center that he builds is bringing him to this. Okay, every AI that he sets up, okay, to run a certain part of government, well, it's bringing him closer to this. Okay, terrors are upon him, man. Okay, you best believe the devil feel it, man. Okay, and you go here to the book of Psalm 73. Okay, let So Esau in the hell of a spot, man. You know, he's enjoyed luxury and abundance and influence and power, you know, for a long time. Now this devil's in a tight spot. Okay. This is Psalms 73 and 17. It says, until I went into the sanctuary of the Most High, then I understood their end. You know, matter of fact, let's go here. I started at 14. It says Psalm 73 and 14 said, for all the day have I been plagued and chastened every morning. You know, and this is the story of the elect, man, because it's a vexation, all right, of this nigga empire up and running, man. You know, the bitterness of the truth. Okay. You know, the vexation of this kingdom up and running, but it's balanced out with the joy, okay, of seeing this nigga fall, man. You see, we serve a just power that deals with balance. So it's a vexation that this nigga's still up and running. You know, I know one of my biggest vexation, this nigga he can just get on TV and lie. You know, he just get on TV and just flat out lie about every goddamn thing. Okay, and play the hero. You see? And it says, if I say I will speak thus, behold, I should offend against the generation of thy children, because most of our people don't want to hear about the wickedness of Esau, Edom, okay, and the judgment written in the scriptures, man. You know, most of Jake don't want to hear that. You see? And that's why, you know, we only, you know, really can deal amongst one another, man. Like we really, that's why as we get closer to the end, you see, the only people that we're compatible with is the believers. All right, the rest of the church. You see, because the masses of our people, the majority of our people, man, they don't want to hear about, okay, the judgment that's coming to America. They don't want to hear about, you know, the wickedness of this current, okay, rulership. Okay, America is off and how it moves. Okay, you got niggas celebrating America like it's a victory for them. Okay, so this is why, you know, the Lord has us, you know, amongst one another, because this is, you know, the sanctuary of the Most High. Okay, to where as when we speak about, you know, we comfort one another, you know, with the prophecies of this man going down. You know, we're comforted by Yahushua coming back and setting the righteous rulership in the earth, man, the throne of David. See, we comfort one another with these words, man, as the scriptures say. Okay, we're trying to explain this to a nigga, man, is a vexation in itself. Okay, that's why we don't waste our time. All right, it says, when I thought to know this, it was too painful for me until I went into the sanctuary of the Most High. Then understood I therein. Okay, so now within the sanctuary of the Most High, which is the church, man. Okay, and what's amongst the church? The understanding of the scriptures, man. The Ruach HaKodesh, the Holy Spirit, the Comforter. Okay, now these things are being explained to us. Now we're comforted. We look at this nigga, and now it's like, damn, you know, they ain't no more of, you know, just being vexed by this nigga. Now we know that this nigga has an end. Okay, and that's a void that's, you know, that the spirit, you know, feels within us. It gives us that understanding, that comfort, that stability, man. Okay, that no matter what this devil is doing, he loses, man. No matter how he tries to portray it, okay, to the masses, this nigga finna lose. Okay, so let's go here. It says, until I went into the sanctuary of the Most High, then I understood their end. Surely thou didst set them in slippery places. Thou castest them down into destruction. Okay, so this devil is set up to fall. Okay, the Most High set this nigga up in a place to where he's going to fall, and we're seeing this nigga slipping, man, sliding all over the goddamn place, man. Okay, he's a drunk man trying, okay, to run the earth, man. You see, it says, how are they brought into desolation, as in a moment they are utterly consumed with terrors, man. Okay, so this is the end of this man's kingdom, man. Okay, this man is set up to fail. From the beginning, he was established to fail. because you go into Revelation, it speaks about how this man, when he was loosed, okay, and he was allowed to come back in power. Well, he set his foundation through deception. He come out the gate line, okay, and deceiving, okay. So his foundation was always off, man. Okay, great robbery, lying, and murder is his foundation, man. Okay, so he was set up to fail from the beginning, man. All right, and we're just watching this devil take steps towards his own demise, man. It's beautiful to see. Okay, so let's go here. I want to get this video real quick. My boy Scott Ritter, man. I ain't listened to him in a while. I said he was emotional at one time, but he came back around a little bit, man. But he got a good little spiel, dealing with the reality of this Iran situation, man. And we keep going into these things so we can, really know what's good, man. Because the Western media have you all over the goddamn place, man. Okay, you'll be in the goddamn alternative reality, man. Okay, so let's play this. Dealing with the latest what's going on in Iran.
For some time now, they're fed up. This isn't the first time Israel has organized large-scale demonstrations. Because Raisi, when he spoke in September of 2023, I believe, at the UN, said that the unrest that followed the tragic death of that Kurdish girl in police custody, he said that put the greatest pressure on the Islamic Revolution since the revolution. It was a very dangerous time, he said. They exploited all of the fractures in Iranian society, and they came at us hard. He said, but the Iranian people rallied around and they were able to restore this. Notice what I said. The Iranian people rallied around. The Iranian government didn't violently suppress these people. Those cells still were there. They were supposed to rise up in the 12-day war in June, but the decapitation didn't happen, and the Israelis held them in reserve. But the Iranians know this stuff. They, all those drone operators they caught.
So real quick, just to sum more what he's talking about. So those sleeper cells have been in Iran, for a while. Those sleeper cells of America and small hats. Some of British as well. Okay, so they've been in Iran. They're dormant. Waiting on the call. Now they were supposed to be activated, during the 12-day war. Okay, but they fell back. All right, and they've been activated now. Okay, well now he's going to go into what has happened, what's happening to those sleeper cells, okay, of America and the small hats, what's been happening to them, okay, in Iran.
But the Iranians know this stuff. They, all those drone operators they caught, they're dead. They got hung, as they deserve to. And now they've caught all the people who committed murder on behalf of Israel. Israel just lost the lion's share of its assets. And this is why Israel's panicking right now, because if Trump doesn't attack, then Israel won't be able to do this again. This was supposed to be the big move. This is supposed to be the regime change. The theocracy is not supposed to exist very soon. Now Israel's looking around saying, America missed the window of opportunity. It's too late. And, but the Iranian government finally, I believe, woke up to the fact that you have to eradicate these cells. You can't play soft. You can't slap a wrist. You can't hang a few. You have to kill them all. And I think that's what they're doing right now.
So here Trump was making these big threats. If you kill protesters, we're going to intervene. Trump was talking this shit. I said he don't know, okay, what's going on. All right. So what has happened when the Iranians, when they said through the help of China, they shut down the Starlink, okay, and the riot started to quell. And what they started doing was gathering, these different American and Israeli assets, okay, that was causing damage to infrastructure, that was killing, protesters, that was killing police officers, and they just start hanging. Okay, so the Iranian government is hanging Israeli assets, sleeper cells, American assets, sleeper cells, and the British asset and sleeper cells. Okay, so the Iranian government is hanging these people that they're catching, man. Okay, they started, these violent, riot protests. Okay, that was destroying, Iranian, infrastructure, churches and mosques. Okay, so they've been rounding them up. Okay, and now the narrative of these crazy protests there is gone. Okay, and the small hats wanted America to attack within their window. Like we said yesterday, if they lose this narrative, more than likely they're going to fall back. Okay, we spoke on this yesterday. All right, and we're going to play some things. We're going to get to the end. We're going to listen to how your boy Trump sounded, man. Okay, y'all tough guy president. You see? So this is what happened in real time in Iran, man. They catching these niggas and hanging their ass, man.
And I don't think the Iranian people are losing too much sleep over this. The Israelis are, and the pro-Israeli faction in the United States are losing a lot of sleep. But, they've had large-scale demonstrations in Iran with millions of people in the street demonstrating for the regime. It's over. The Israelis lost.
More and more news is rolling in, and I think it would be helpful for the audience to know what the consequences of a war with Iran would be, because now we're even having, and this is surprising to me, this just broke. Israeli and Arab officials have privately suggested the U.S. hold off on Iran strikes. Israeli officials have suggested the Trump administration delay large-scale strikes until the Iranian regime is even more strained, while one Arab official said there's a lack of enthusiasm from the neighborhood for American military action right now. But Scott, there are people who are very enthusiastic about a war with Iran.
So you see the small hats, all right, and those they call them Gulf, states, your Qatar, the UAE, all right, the different states in their region, because they know everywhere that if you're hosting American assets, and these small hats in Iran, these small hats in America attack Iran, and if you're a country that's hosting American, military assets, you on the target list. Okay, they know this. Okay, so you have even Israeli officials, because the Israelis, they was there during that 12-day war. They know what they were like. They seen that exchange, and they didn't have no answer for it, man. So these certain Israeli officials, look, fall back, man. Let them niggas be. You see? But the Lord gonna force these niggas to fight, man. See, more than likely, we're gonna see them get on the off ramp, and they gonna sit their ass down. Okay? More than likely, but it's gonna come a time where there ain't no off ramp. Everybody gonna have to go with their move. Okay, but what the Lord is showing us, how high the stakes is concerning, this conflict, this ongoing conflict between the small hats, America and Iran. All right, the Lord is just making this the center stage, for this third world war. Okay, but you see Israeli officials, and those Arab states over there in the region, look, man, don't, fall back, man. Don't, let's wait. You see?
Here was Lindsey Graham in front of Zionist donors, actually, as the announcement that Trump might attack Iran.
I don't know what, but this might be the night. It's just a matter of time now. It's just a matter of time. Why is it just a matter of time? And you know what I'm talking about, don't you? This tyrannical regime needs to end. We need to end this for the good people of Iran and for our own selves and the people of Israel. We need to take this guy down. He needs to leave standing up or laying down I don't care. He needs to go. And if we can pull this off, it'd be the biggest change in the Mideast in 1,000 years. Hamas, Hezbollah, gone. The Houthis, gone. The Iranian people, an ally, not an enemy. The Arab world moving toward Israel without fear. Saudi Israel normalized. No more October the 7th. I haven't slept or eaten in 3 or 4 days.
So he is that enthusiastic.
Man, you nigga here, man. Okay. And that was that nigga Lindsey Graham. Okay. And he's pushing for the regime change in Iran, which is the same one talking about going to Cuba and this. And see, these Edomite cowards, these politicians, they don't have to go to war. Their sons don't have to go to war. Okay? This nigga said he ain't eating 3-4 days. Nigga. These niggas just get up there and say any goddamn thing, man. Okay? They not go. They in their mind they not gonna have to deal with the recoil. Because their mind they got bunkers, okay. So they don't care how it plays. They don't care about the fallout, okay. So they're constantly hyping the American people up like this to move, and you stupid simple Americans sitting there clapping like this shit gonna be sweet, man. This is gonna be the conflict that's gonna turn America to a desert, man. All you people just sitting there clapping, okay, are going to be part of the desert, okay? And your Edomite leaders, okay, you see, is going to take America into the biggest trap, okay, ever, man, when they get dragged into this war. Nigga say he ain't ate in 3-4 days, man. Get your ass out of here, man. Nigga fasting now for the Iranian people.
Scott about this, that he hasn't eaten or slept in days. Scott, talk about what the consequences of a war with Iran, what would they really be? It seems like many Gulf countries, even some in Israel, which is shocking to me, are very much concerned about the consequences.
Israeli infrastructure won't exist when this is done. The Iranians made some clear targeting messaging near the end of the conflict, striking oil, refining capabilities, striking some energy production facilities, and then proving they can hit with pinpoint accuracy very specific targets. So they took out, an office here, an office there. To the average onlooker, it was like, oh, well, that's just one missile hitting in a random spot in Tel Aviv. To the Israelis, they went, damn, they hit exactly where that thing was that we were doing. And that also was a signal to the Israelis that the Iranians know about that thing that they were doing. And they hit it and they destroyed it. And that's why Netanyahu panicked. I mean, he was in sheer panic because the Iranians sent very clear messaging that we know everything. And if we want to, we can kill it. But, the problem is Israel hurt Iran. Iran was hurting as well. And so both sides wanted this war to come to an end. But Iran's not going to wait 12 days to send that messaging. This is going to come on day one. And so, I mean, I'm not saying they will kill Netanyahu, but they could very well kill Netanyahu, depending on his reactive, how he reacts. They can kill a lot of Israeli leadership, and I believe the Israeli leadership will be on the plate. They will destroy the critical infrastructure of Israel, up to and including Dimona. And maybe not the nuclear reactor, but taking out very specific targets, because there's nothing that can defend against what Iran has. You might shoot down 1, 2, 3, 4, but you're not going to shoot them all down. And they're so damn accurate and they're so damn powerful that Israel will be effectively removed from the map. I mean, good. I care about Americans.
Because Scott, he hate them small hats, because he knows that it's gonna be the small hats that's gonna get America destroyed. Because Scott, he get kind of emotional when you talking about taking down America. He get kind of emotional, But when it comes to them small hats, he hate them niggas. That's why he said it's good, that they is gonna get annihilated, and that's prophecy, man. So let's go real quick just to show that there's prophecy, all right, that the landmass of Israel, okay, is going to be eradicated. Okay, now it's not going to be uninhabitable like America, which is going to be a desert. Okay, but that land is going to be cleansed through war. It's going to be leveled. Okay, it's going to be renovated. This war is going to renovate the land of Israel for the true Israelites. All right, that are at hand to come. Okay, so let's go from there real quick and just get that in prophecy. Okay, and Iran itself, okay, will turn. Uh, Iran itself can renovate the landmass of Israel. Okay, like I say, Iran and Israel, the small has not even the same lead. The only thing the small has got is American technology and intelligence. All right, and they got nukes. Okay, but if everybody was to fall back and just let Iran and the small hats go at a conventional war, okay, the small hats will be obliterated. Okay, in a month's time. Okay, they will be absolutely obliterated. So let's go here real quick to the book of Zephaniah. It's the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2 and verse 4. And it said, "For Gaza shall be forsaken," what we saying there now. "And Ashkelon a desolation. They shall drive out Ashdod at the noonday, and Ekron shall be rooted out." And this is all, on dealing with the land of Israel. Okay. So war is going to have this place desolate. This is all dealing with, the land that these small hats are in today, claiming to be us. Okay. It's going to be a desolation. It's going to be, okay, completely flattened through war. Okay. It says, "Woe unto the inhabitants of the sea coast, the nation of the Cherethites. The word of the Lord is against you, O Canaan," because the land was called the land of Canaan, before we went into it. It said, "The land of the Philistines," all right, which is Palestine, "I will even destroy thee, and there will be no inhabitant," man. Okay, so that land gonna be cleared out over the population. There ain't gonna be no population. The heathen's gonna be cleared out. Okay, you see that? The true that hey, this war is gonna prepare the way for true Israel to come back to their land, and you heathens gonna build it up from scratch, man. We going back with all new infrastructure, man. Okay, and it's gonna be an infrastructure the world has never seen. It's gonna be a splendor that the earth has never seen. Okay, so yeah, man. And I say we're pro prophecy, man. Iran just playing this part, Russia playing this part, the small hats. Everybody's in position, man. We look at prophecy. You gotta look at the Lord putting everything in position, man. We don't gotta jump the gun. Everybody doing exactly what need to be done to fulfill. Okay, this is Ezekiel 36 and 5. It said, "Therefore, thus said the Lord, power, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen, okay, and against all I do here, man." So you Edomites, mainly Amalek that's in our land, and you heathens, you Palestinians, okay, the hell with you too. You see, "which have appointed my land in their possession with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds to cast it out as a prey." And just because they had the power, to put themselves in our land and claim to be us, they did it, man, to be spiteful to us, man. Call themselves the chosen people, the Jews, and give us these bywords. Okay, call us Africans and African Americans and Black and Hispanic, and you see, it said, "Prophesy therefore concerning the land of Israel, and say unto the mountains and to the hills, to the rivers and the valleys, and thus said the Lord power, behold, I have spoken in my jealousy and in my fury, because you have borne the shame of the heathen," man. Okay, and the heathen, being in our land, okay, is bringing shame to their land because it's just nonstop war. Okay, You know, niggas following the Talmud. You got the the Islamic, okay, the dome. Okay, that's a shame, man. That land was meant for us, and it was supposed to be the hub, okay, of where we served our power. Okay, Jerusalem, the city of peace. Okay, but they turned to a state of constant war. You see, and that's a shame to that land. All right, verse 7 said, "Thus said the Lord power, I have lifted up my hand. Surely the heathen that are about you, they shall bear their shame." Okay, and how is the Lord, okay, going to lift up his hand, Yahweh Shai? Okay, because what the missiles don't clear out. Remember, Yahweh Shai going to be in them chariots. All right, Yahweh Shai going to be in that chariot getting busy, man. Yahweh Shai going to be clearing shit out. You know, the missile is just a part of the Lord's armor. The peak of the Lord's power is going to be Yahweh Shai. You know, the climax of the Lord's wrath, rather I say, is going to be Yahweh Shai. You know, because there's no peak to the Lord's power. Okay, so let's go back. You know, and you can tell Scott and Joy talking about Iran running through these small hats, man. You know, because they know it's gonna be the small hats that's gonna drag them into this shit, man. You know, America don't want this shit. Okay? Can America project power throughout the world? And, you know, can it strike any nation in the world? Absolutely. Okay? But a regional war with Iran not gonna be good, man. This gonna be different than anything that America has faced. Okay, this gonna be different than anything America has faced, man. Okay, it's gonna be their end. You see, so these small hats gonna be impulsive. It's gonna be through the impulsiveness of the small hats, man. They're gonna force the hand of America, man. Okay, because Iran gonna be beating the brakes off these small hats unless they do something like a preeminent nuclear strike. Okay, but just a conventional exchange between Iran and the small hats. Okay, they're gonna be beating the brakes off. They're gonna beat the hats off Amalek, man. Okay, and America gonna have to get in, or they could do a preeminent nuclear strike to where Iran is weak and then Russia has to get in. You can go either way, but eventually, all right, they're gonna have to lock up. There ain't gonna be no more off ramps, man. Okay, so let's play this some more.
I don't support Trump, but my God, there's men and women out there who took the oath to wear, serve their country. They're wearing the uniform of their country. And we have a duty and responsibility to ensure that their lives aren't thrown away in vain. They got their orders. They had to deploy. They have to do the jobs they're given. They're sitting ducks. And the Iranians know everything. They know every target. And the Iranians aren't going to hold back. I don't believe they are. I don't believe there will be a warning shot. I think when the time comes, Iran will smother American bases the same way they're going to smother them. And that's it. And then if the war continues and Israel strikes, for instance, strategic energy targets inside Iran, then you're going to see Iran shut down the Strait of Hormuz, destroy Saudi oil fields, destroy UAE oil fields. And now we have an energy crisis in the world that nobody's ready for. When Donald Trump's like, well, we got Venezuelan oil. It's still in the ground, Donnie. Still in the ground. Even your big oil company say it's going to take a while to get it out in any significant. This should be a lesson to anybody who starts playing stupid games with oil infrastructure. When you have a nation like Venezuela was producing 3 million barrels a day at one point in time, does anybody here know about well maintenance, pressurization, about water pressure, about water levels? What do you have to do with a well once you start extracting oil to prevent water from seeping in and contaminating? What kind of pressures you have to maintain? And you have to maintain them in an active manner as the oil is extracted. It's not reactive. It's all planned out. So when you start decommissioning production and you start drawing these wells down, That pressure goes away, water levels rise, you get a dilution, you corrupt the integrity of the product. Now, that doesn't mean it's unusable. It just means that you just made it much more expensive when they finally get it out. And then when you come back, you've got to repressurize, you got to do the whole thing. This is reality. This happens when we tell, the only nation in the world that can get away with this is Saudi Arabia, who massively, on purpose, overproduced their oil extraction infrastructure because they were supposed to be the brake. They were supposed to be in the United States. Well, we need more oil in the economy. Hey, Saudi Arabia, jack it up a little bit.
Right.
We need to, get the prices to go. Hey, Saudi Arabia, slow it down a little bit. We got to manage this. And Saudi Arabia would do that. Saudi Arabia would increase production, decrease production based upon the orders given by the United States. But that requires global stability in terms of energy. But when the United States goes in and we destroy stability through the stupidity of our sanctions, America, I've got just look around my house right now. Light, energy, oil, plastics, oil. Oil is everywhere. Oil is in everything we have here. Oil just doesn't go to producing gasoline. Oil makes modern life possible. We need a lot of it on a sustainable fashion. And the stupidity of America's policies are designed to deny oil to the market. Now, we produce our own oil, but
Yeah, man. So, they were making this, like it was some great victory of Venezuela, as if they now have, America doesn't produce enough oil to run this country. Okay. America runs off an energy, deficit to where they have to depend on Canadian oil, Russian oil, and oil to come out of the Strait of Hormuz, between Iraq, and Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, okay, which all those countries, Iran can destroy their oil facilities quick, okay. Iran can blockade the Strait of Hormuz and shut it down, okay. America doesn't have, a flow of Venezuelan oil, okay. And then that infrastructure, like he said, if you stop oil production to fix infrastructure where you lose the pressure, okay, on those drills, on those rigs, and when you lose pressure, water get into the oil, then you dilute the product. Okay, so it don't the way that Trump tried to explain this shit like a kindergarten, it don't work like that. There's a lot to go into that. Okay, so Iran still got all these Trump cards, all those military bases that's sitting ducks to Iranian missiles. All that oil infrastructure by these pro-Western, Arab states that's within range, okay, that's sitting ducks for Iranian missiles, okay, to block the Strait of Hormuz, to stop their oil flowing to the west, okay. So these are all the cards. See, the war ain't just, man, you killed the scientists, man. Iran needs to just go. No, man, Iran, the Lord got Iran doing exactly what Iran need to do, man. Okay, they in the perfect position. They got the leverage, man. Okay, scientists are born every day. Okay, they not tripping. Okay, with no few scientists, man. The technology already in place. Okay, so let's go from there. So let's go see what's been happening with China. What's been China, role, okay, in this whole fallout. So let's go here. So what's China been doing? Let's listen to this in the midst of all this.
Iran airspace was largely empty overnight, with only 2 civilian flights visible over the country, as regional tensions kept most commercial traffic grounded, according to flight tracking data. The only aircraft observed were operated by Mahan Air, an Iranian carrier designated by the United States for allegedly transporting arms, equipment, and funds on behalf of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. The U.S. Treasury has previously accused the airline of supporting military and proxy operations across the Middle East, allegations Tehran denies. The 2 Mahan Air flights were tracked departing from southern China, one from Guangzhou and the other from Shenzhen, before heading west toward Tehran. No other commercial flights were seen crossing Iranian airspace during the same period, an unusual development for a region that typically serves as a major transit corridor between Asia, Europe, and the Middle East. Iran temporarily closed its airspace as tensions with the U.S. peaked ahead of a possible military attack by the Trump military. The airspace was closed for 2 hours, allowing only limited international flights with special clearance to fly in and out, according to flight tracking data. Airlines routinely avoid conflict zones due to safety concerns, higher insurance costs, and the risk of airspace closures. Iran has faced repeated disruptions to aviation in recent years amid sanctions, military confrontations, and heightened security alerts. Neither Mahan Air nor Iranian aviation authorities immediately responded to requests for comment on the flights. Chinese aviation authorities also did not comment on the departures. China has played a quiet but consequential role in helping Iran rebuild its ballistic missile program last October, according to U.S. and European intelligence cited by CNN. Iran resumed missile-related activity despite UN sanctions that bar work on nuclear-capable ballistic missiles and prohibit member states from supplying materials linked to delivery systems.
Traditional dropshipping is dead. What we need to do is register with AutoDS. The quickest,
European intelligence agencies said multiple shipments of sodium perchlorate, a key precursor of sodium perchlorate, a key precursor agencies.
Y'all see that? Right? A 441 on that ship, 144. Okay, on that ship, man. Because everything we're seeing is leading to the new government of Israel being established in the earth, man. Okay? Man, that's heavy call. Lord, my how about Shemal Shah? You know, I just seen that. You know, I was listening to it. I wasn't watching it, but yeah, 144, man. Okay? Because this war is going to usher in the eternal righteous government of Israel, man, under Yahweh Shah, man. Okay? When you see China is pouring weaponry into Iran, China, see, the Lord is causing these nations push all their chips to the middle of the table, man. Okay? And they're going to go at it in this war, man.
Said multiple shipments of sodium perchlorate, a key precursor for solid missile propellant, were sent from China to Iran. The total volume was estimated at about 2,000 tons, purchased from Chinese suppliers as Iran sought to replenish depleted missile stocks. CNN tracked several cargo vessels traveling repeatedly between Chinese and Iranian ports. The U.S.-sanctioned MV Bosch departed Zhuhai on September 15th and arrived in Iran on September 29th, while another vessel, Barzin, sailed from Gaulan on October 2nd and reached Bandar Abbas on October 16th. Several ships and entities involved are under U.S. sanctions. It remains unclear whether the Chinese government was aware of the shipments. At that time, China told CNN it enforces export controls on dual-use items in line with international obligations.
Smoke-filled streets, shattered calm, new images emerging.
So yeah, just to show you, you know, China's position, you know, in this this conflict, this tension between, you know, American and small hats and Iran. All right, China is fully with Iran. you know, and even with this whole thing in Venezuela, you know, it made Iran more valuable to China, you know, because America cutting off China from Venezuelan oil made them more reliant or dependent on Iran. Okay, so everything is working against this devil. Everything that he's trying to do, and like I said, that whole region, okay, is telling them niggas to chill because eventually, okay, these you know, these Ishmaelites, these all right, Islamic, okay, nations, you know, these Gulf Arab nations, okay, they're gonna side with Iran, man, okay, because America is looking like this unstable, drunk madman trying to call the shots, man. Okay, it's gonna get everybody destroyed, man. You see, so eventually, man, this also plays into okay, America is pushing okay these Arabs, these Ishmaelites, okay, to align with Elam, you know, Persia, man. Okay, the dragons of Arabia. You see, linking with those Carmanians. So now you see Qatar, okay, telling look America, you know, to fall back. Because see, when America did the look political airstrike on Iran, okay, just to save face, you know, for the sake of having the off ramp to this 12-day war. Okay, Iran struck a military base that was in Qatar. Okay, so Qatar know that when this thing go down, that they on the list because they host American military bases. Okay, so all these nations in their region that host these American military bases, you best believe, you know, they've been blowing, all right, Trump, they've been blowing his ass up, man. You know, telling his ass to reconsider. So let's play this.
Qatar says a military escalation between the US and Iran will have grave consequences for the region. This after Washington threatened strikes in response to a government crackdown on protests in the Islamic Republic.
The world holds its breath, wondering whether or not President Donald Trump is prepared to pull the trigger on a high-stakes military incursion in Iran.
I want you to imagine this odd little triangle and tell me it doesn't feel like the opening scene of a geopolitical thriller. On one corner, you have Washington, where Donald Trump is once again talking like a man who believes pressure is a foreign policy all by itself, openly hinting that strong action and even strikes are on the table if Iran doesn't bend. On another corner, you have Tehran facing a volatile moment at home, accusing the West of weaponizing unrest and warning regional hosts of US forces that any attack on Iran would drag their bases into the blast radius. And on the third corner, you have Qatar, the United States' longtime Gulf partner, home to Al Udeid Air Base, the forward nerve center of American power projection in the region, suddenly sounding like the adult in the room, publicly stressing that a US-Iran military escalation would be catastrophic and working the phones with everyone to stop it.
What right does the West have to determine who?
Now listen to Western media, all right? Because I think this is from British, you know, this British, you know. And these women, I can't wait till these goddamn women have to shut their ass up, man. Okay, this is matters of war, man. Okay, and these women hop on here like they know what the hell going on. Okay, trying to talk and what should be done. Okay, but just listen to how delusional Western media is, man. Okay.
Who governs in Iran and who doesn't?
The people on the streets in their thousands who are now being systematically slaughtered in their thousands, they are saying that your government no longer has the right to govern.
What if I could build an app that works my way with Base 44? My work moves fast.
Yesterday, we saw rallies across the country, and the footage is online, and it was broadcast live, even though now people like Musk and others are trying to pretend it was AI.
No, these were people who
footage.
were forced to go out and protest, but people of their own free will bravely went out, and in return, the government, your government, has slaughtered them in their thousands. And for what?
There were 2.3 million people in Tehran yesterday on the streets, and reporters from Al Jazeera English, Arabic, RT, CGTN, CCTV, and others, Al Mayadeen, were there, and they witnessed it. How can you force millions of people on the streets in Tehran
because you instill
and other
fear
streets?
into the people of your country. Your government instills fear into the people of your country.
I think that you are living in an alternative universe and you're drowning in your own fake narratives. If you think that the people of Iran support the MEK terror organization or the monarchists that your governments fund and support, I think you really know literally nothing about Iran.
Your government says that 2,000 people are dead. Are you denying that?
Our government never made any statements about any death numbers at all. You're talking
It's been
about
reported to Reuters.
Our government does not report to Reuters, and Reuters constantly fabricates information about Iran, and it constantly says unnamed sources.
Now, if you've been watching the region closely, you know Qatar doesn't usually switch sides in the Hollywood sense. Flags don't flip overnight, alliances don't vanish with a single press conference. But what's happening right now is still surprising, and it's precisely why people are whispering that Doha has effectively moved into Iran's corner in a way that really matters. Because when a small state sits on top of enormous gas wealth, hosts a major US base, keeps pragmatic ties with Tehran, and positions itself as a diplomatic air traffic controller for the region, its neutrality can start looking from Washington's vantage point like obstruction, and from Tehran's vantage point like a lifeline. The current standoff isn't just another round of rhetoric. US officials have been publicly escalating warnings. Trump has urged Iranians to keep protesting and has dangled the idea that help is coming without clarifying whether he means covert support, cyber pressure, economic warfare, or outright military action. At the same time, US authorities have urged citizens to leave Iran, a classic signal that Washington believes the risk of rapid deterioration is real. And Iran, reading the pattern the way any sovereign state would, has been warning that if Washington strikes, US bases across the region become legitimate targets in Tehran's retaliatory logic. That is where Qatar enters the story in a way most casual observers miss. The Gulf is not a chessboard where only kings move. It's more like a room full of gasoline cans where everyone is holding a match and insisting they're the responsible one. Qatar's nightmare scenario is simple. A US-Iran exchange that turns Gulf airspace into a missile corridor, makes energy infrastructure a bargaining chip, and converts a host country like Qatar into a battlefield by proximity rather than intent. This is not theoretical. Previous cycles of escalation already showed how quickly messages can become strikes and how fast regional states can be punished for hosting US power, even if those states did not choose the conflict. Nick Fuentes had the...
Yeah, man. So you have them Gulf states, you know, telling that nigga fall back, man. You know? And you go here. I want to get this, because this is the grand finale, man. Okay? Because those states, those different Arab states in their region, they know it's going to be bad for them. All right? Just for hosting American air bases. Okay? They know a war with Iran means devastation to their infrastructure. Okay? Because Iran can't come to America. Okay? They can't punch back at America directly. Okay? But all American assets, which is an extension of America, is going to be free game. And they're sitting ducks. Okay? So let's go here. Now let's go to the grand finale and let's listen to your mans. Okay, and I say this nigga, you can tell this nigga here is worn out. This nigga is worn out, man. So now let's listen to what this nigga is saying, knowing what we know now. Remember, they're hanging US, Israeli, and British assets, okay, that killed, that damaged infrastructure, that damaged mosque in Iran. They're being hung. They're being executed. It's already happened, past tense. Okay? Now let's listen to your man All right, let's listen to y'all tough ass president. Let's see what he has to say. He said help was on the way. Okay, let's see if the help is still on the way.
Do we have some other little things to talk about? Maybe we'll start that first. Should I start that first? I think they're going to want me to. I have a feeling they're going to want me to. We have been notified and pretty strongly, but we'll find out what that all means. But we've been told that the killing in Iran is stopping. It's stopped. It's stopping. And there's no plan for executions or an execution or executions. So I've been told that on good authority. We'll find out about it. I'm sure if it happens, we'll all be very upset, including you will be very upset. But that's just gotten to me some information that the killing has stopped, that the executions have stopped. They're not going to have an execution, which a lot of people were talking about for the last couple of days. Today was going to be the day of execution. And
already executed. Execution have already happened. Okay? They lost a lot of assets. Okay? So that because like another thing I wanted to make a point on, because see, those sleeper cells, that's a one-time thing. You see, that was a gimmick. They ain't gonna be able to pull that gimmick off anymore, because now they don't have no sleeper cells to do it. Okay, Starlink has been eradicated. Okay, so now they don't have those sleeper cells in place. You see, they want to cause, they wanted to topple the government. That's their strategy, decapitation. Okay, they wanted to cause and keep the civil unrest, going, get the nation, get Iran into civil war. Okay, this is what they wanted to do. That's what Ukraine was supposed to do with Russia. Okay, it's failing. It didn't work. The gimmicks didn't work. The Lord got it to where them niggas gonna have to go to war, man. Okay, all these gimmicks. Okay, all that say blowing up scooters and cell phones. No, y'all gonna have to go to war. Y'all gonna have to go see them folks. Okay. And now that the gimmick is off the table, Iran done, took the gimmick off the table. Now this nigga backpedaling, man. Okay? The other day, help was on the way. If they kill any protesters, no, they killing assets. They killing American, Israeli, British assets, and they executing them. Okay? So all this talk about, they kill protesters, we will intervene, help is on the way. Now this nigga moonwalking, man. And I don't know what's on this nigga desk, It should be some milk, because this nigga needs some milk. What kind of, low energy this nigga sound, man. Nigga weird in his council, man. Let's play this some more.
another piece of information that I think is very important is the leaker has been found and is in jail right now. And that's the leaker on Venezuela. And a very bad leaker. So there could be some others, and we'll let you know about that. We're hot on their trail. But the leaker has been found, and the leaker's in jail. And will probably be in jail for a long time. Let's see what happens. So we'll let you know. We'll keep you apprised.
Ron, you said that the killing has stopped. Who told you that the killings have stopped there? And if it's the Iranian regime?
We have been informed by very important sources on the other side, and they've said the killing has stopped and the executions won't take place. There was supposed to be a lot of executions today, and that the executions won't take place. And we're going to find out. I mean, I'll find out after this. You'll find out. But we've been told on good authority, and I hope it's true. Who knows, right? Who knows?
We've seen the body bags, so how do you trust them?
You've seen that over the last few days, and they said people were shooting at them with guns, and they were shooting back. And, it's one of those things. But they told me that there'll be no executions, and so I hope that's true.
Does this mean military action is now off the table against Iran?
We're going to watch and see what the process is, but we were given a very good statement by people that are aware of what's going on.
Is that still considering military action? Is that still a
There's
threat?
no executions. Everybody's talking about a lot of executions were taking place today. We were just told no executions. I hope that's true. That's a big thing. Yes, ma'am.
The Foreign Minister of Greenland, she said a while ago in a press conference in an embassy of Denmark that she made very clear in the meeting that happened here in the White House what are their limits. She also said that it was a very respectful meeting. Are those limits going to be respected?
Well, we're going to see what happens with Greenland. We need Greenland for national security, so we're going to see what happens. They're going to brief me on the meeting right after this conference. In fact, the sooner I get you out, the faster I'm going to know exactly what happened. But
I'm gonna say, soon I get y'all out of here, goddamn it. I got a conference about Greenland. Yeah, this nigga backpedaling, man. He did not want to directly answer that question. They asked him, so is military intervention off the table? Okay. And what that nigga kept saying, well, we getting good reports, ain't no execution. Okay. So he's saying, military intervention is off the table now, without saying it, man. Okay. He's completely backpedaling. Okay. And now we want to talk about Greenland. This y'all tough ass president, man. Okay. Let's say we told this nigga was a clown. All right. And that nigga ain't got no warrior in him. Okay. He's a coward Edomite. That's an actor, man. Okay. So let's play this some more.
we have a very good relationship with Denmark, as you know. We'll see. But, we're doing the Golden Dome. We're doing a lot of things, and we really need it. If we don't go in, Russia's going to go in, and China's going to go in. And there's not a thing that Denmark can do about it, but we can do everything
There's
about it.
no more than what they can do the
Well, we're going to see. I mean, look, we're going to see what happens, but we need it. I'm not the first one. This was talked about by President Truman, and 40 years before President Truman, they were talking about it. They've been talking about this for 100 years. This is not anything so new. A lot of people don't realize that, but this was a hot subject, probably not as hot as it is now, but it was a hot subject for a long time. We need it for national security, and that includes for Europe. And I spoke with, as you know, Mark, the head of NATO, and he really wants to see something happen. It's very
It's being reported that Health and Human Services released frozen funds to Planned Parenthood. I'm wondering why this happened and why Planned Parenthood is receiving any federal
I don't know
funds.
anything about it. Bobby, do you know anything about it?
What was the question?
It's being reported that frozen funds were released to Planned Parenthood in December by HHS. I'm wondering why that happened.
I haven't
I
heard.
have not heard that.
I have not heard.
Mr. President,
Mr. President.
on NATO, right now, it sounds like you are saying that you would potentially acquire Greenland by force. That would be a NATO country.
You're
United.
saying that.
Are you saying that? Would you do that?
No,
by
you're
force?
saying that.
Would you
I
acquire
didn't
them by
say
force
that.
right
You're
now?
telling me that that's what I'm going to
I
do.
think we're.
You don't know what I'm going to do.
So what are the options?
Your
then?
network
Because
doesn't know
the,
either.
the Danish foreign minister said that there's still fundamental differences after the meeting.
Yeah, man. So now he arguing with the reporter, and yeah, man. He slid it out of there. That nigga slid it out of there, man. Okay, all them goddamn tweets, and see, that's why I love, this war talk, man. That's why I love the prophecy of war. Okay, because you can't tweet yourself no victory in war. You got to go out there and get something. You see, and that nigga ain't built like that. Okay. And the American military ain't built, all right, for what the Lord got prepared for them when they take their ass east, man. Okay? Matter of fact, but the Lord gonna force them niggas out there, man. Yeah. I got that definition. So let's go here. Let's get this. Get a few more. Okay? You see, you ain't gonna tweet yourself to a victory. Okay? That Venezuela shit short-lived. Okay? I say it was cute for the internet, all right, but their real action, okay, is out east, man, okay, and Iran let them niggas know it's up there, okay. Russia pouring in weaponry, China pouring in weaponry. Like I say, if they caught hell in that 12-day war, they definitely don't want to see this shit now. Okay, so let's let's go here real quick because we always get into it. I want to get that word drag because we go into the least of the flock. She'll draw them out. Now, let's just go into it. Jeremiah 49:20 said, therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he have taken against Edom. And see, this is what we're seeing. Prophecy is the counsel of Yahweh Ba'ashem Al-Shah, and it's against Edom. Prophecy is against this nigga, man. Nothing is finna go in his favor, man. Okay? Every move that he make, he's going to lose. Okay? It said, therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord that he have taken against Edom, and his purposes that he have purpose against the inhabitants of Teman. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out, these small heads. Surely he shall make their habitation desolate with them. Because when they get drawn into this war, that's it. When they get drawn into this war, that's it, man. And these niggas can feel it. Okay? That's why they get to their door, they put their hand on their handle, and they get hot. Okay? Niggas don't want to go in that door, man. You see? So let's get this word draw. Get the word draw, which is with the sahab. Okay, in the Hebrew, which is what? To drag. To drag. Okay. Now, real quick, let's just go and get a quick. All right, Google. Let's get a quick Google definition of the word drag. All right, so you get into this word drag. Okay, just a quick Google definition of the word drag. And what does it go into? It says to pull someone or something along forcefully, roughly, or with difficulty. Okay, similar words: to haul, to pull, to draw, to tug. Okay. You see? So the small hats, they just gonna force America into this shit, man. Oh, you getting involved. Okay. They gonna force America into this, man. America really ain't trying to do that. Okay. They really they know this ain't Venezuela. They know this ain't Afghanistan and Iraq and Syria. They know. Okay. But them small hats, all right, because they're going to act out of desperation. You see, and it's gonna draw, okay, and it can go either way. Whether because they cowards more than likely. Them small hats, they might, do something like a tactical nuke, okay. Because if it's a conventional back and forth, it's gonna get bad for them small hats, and America gonna have to get in, okay. Or if they do a tactical nuke, to Iran, and Iran is on the brink of collapse. Okay, Russia and China gonna jump in, and Russia and China jump in with them small hats. America gonna have to jump in. So either way, however it go, okay, America gonna get drugged into this conflict, man, by these small hats. Okay, because they're desperate and they're terrified of Iran. Okay, you think they're acting from a position of, dominance? Them niggas scared. Okay, them niggas terrified. All right, and that's why they're always trying to amp up. Okay, America to all right, to get involved, man. Okay, because them niggas is terrified. Okay, that's why they're trying to kill generals and presidents and scientists. Okay, because them niggas terrified. Okay, of them Persians, goddamn. So let's go here. I want to get this. So what we might see is an off ramp. Okay, which, like I said, they usually do this, man. But it's gonna come a time where there ain't gonna be no off ramp. They're gonna have to hit You know, this is a quick AI interview. It says off-ramp meaning in war. It says in war, an off-ramp is a diplomatic or political mechanism, a face-saving exit strategy. Okay, that's why you heard Trump saying, "Look, ain't no executions, gonna be carried out. The killing has stopped." As if Iran, listened to the threats of America, because he's saying it from a perspective like they stopped killing because we said so. So they cool now. Okay, that's the stance that he's gonna take, but it's an off ramp. Okay, nigga got to that door. Okay, and felt how hot it was, and he fell back. It said, or compromise that allows opposing sides to de-escalate or end a conflict without suffering a humiliating defeat, letting them take the exit from a dangerous path towards wider war. It provides incentives for leaders to back away from escalations while still appearing strong to their domestic audiences, essentially offering a peaceful way out of a high-stakes situation. Okay, so prepare for America to get off on that off-ramp, man. All right, they ain't ready yet. Okay, but eventually ain't gonna be no off-ramp. Okay, matter of fact, I think the brother, all right, Beyond, all right, just posted. Yep. We'll end it here. We'll end it here. Let's get this. All right, it's Proverbs 19 and 21. It says, all right, this is the book of Proverbs 19 and 21 of Brother Beyond Yasha. There are many devices in a man's heart. Nevertheless, the counsel of the Lord, that shall stand. Okay, so I don't know what strategy they thought they was going to come with, or how they thought it was going to go out. Okay, how it's going to turn out with them, just striking Iran. Okay, but if it ain't no the counsel of the Lord, it ain't going to come to pass. Okay, and what we're seeing is the Lord's counsel play out. You see, and the prophets are expounding on the Lord's counsel. Okay, so all these plans that Esau got and beating his chest, and I'm gonna do this, and if they don't do this, we're gonna do this, and all that is irrelevant, man. It's all about the counsel of Yahweh Shema Shah. Okay, and I said, eventually it ain't gonna be no offering. Okay, they gonna have to hit, they're gonna have to lock up. Okay, and there ain't gonna be nowhere to backpedal, man. All right, so we'll see. We'll follow it. Like I say, they might hit. They might do another round just to see where each other at, feel each other out. That could happen. Or these devils can get on the off ramp. Okay, and they probably just go back to, bombing Gaza. Doing airstrikes on on women and children. Okay, and Esau go back to building, data centers. Okay, so we'll see, man. Only time will tell. The Lord will, you brothers. All right, and you sisters edified once again. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakadash, and double honors to the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers. And peace and blessings, salutations, hopefully, shalom.